Okay, this is lecture 44 of Law and Economics, and finally, we have reached the last lecture of the semester. Uh, we have talked about in this semester the property law, other than the first basics of microeconomics, property law, contract law, and tort law. And still, the book of Kuto and Ulan has two more topics, that is legal process and criminal law. But it's rather short, and I'm pretty sure that you can read it and understand by yourself. Personally, nothing that greatly interesting materials in there. So I'm gonna just jamming those two topics of legal process and criminal law into this final lecture. So, just one PPT, one page of PPT for the chapter 10. That is legal process. Okay. Just some points, several points I want to make. Number one is if you just consider it for a while, it will naturally come to you. When you are wondering, you are in the process of suing each other, and if your percentage of winning from this suing is high, like 70%, and on the other hand low, like 20%, which time are you more likely to proceed further in this suing process? When it looks better. Because if you got to know from lawyers and experts that, whatever you think, your winning probability is very low in this suit, and you say, oh, I'm gonna invest huge amount of my time, effort, and money for this suing, and probably I'm going to lose. Many people would give up. So bad news in the suing process help the people in the process to settle. But good news, if people have a rose picture, I'm gonna win. The person A and person B, they are suing each other. If both think I'm gonna win, then I'm gonna go to the end. If both think they are gonna lose, they can very easily settle because settlement is better than losing. On the other hand, if they have a large picture, the winning is better than settlement, so they are gonna go all the way to the suit. Okay. Another point, I'm just picking up interesting points here. There are like a big difference between British law and USA, British and European law. In Britain, the losing party pays the litigation cost for both. Litigation cost, what is it? The money you are paying for your lawyers, that would be the biggest. And people wondering, if I sue and I'm gonna get $100, but I pay $200 to my lawyer, what's the point? But then in Britain, if I win, then my counterparty, who naturally lost, not only pay me $100, he has to pay $200 for my lawyer. I don't have to pay anything to my lawyer because we won. So in Britain, it's like winner gets all kind of suit. So in the court, if you win, not only your own money, but also the lawyer fees, the litigation cost, the fee to your lawyers, you would receive from your counterpart, the losing party. On the other hand, in USA, you are just getting the money, but your counterpart, even though they lost, they never pay you the litigation cost, the cost fee for your lawyers. Okay? So, same is here. The fact that if you lose, you have to pay not only to your lawyers, but the lawyers to your counterpart. Not to mention the monetary compensation itself. Means that losing is really painful in Britain compared to USA. So if the winning probability is low, in Britain, it's easier for the party to give up the suing process than America, where they don't have to worry about the legal litigation cost of other party, even though they are losing. So people think that why the America is the paradise for the lawyers and so many lawsuits are going on in America, because people think that's less burdensome. On the other hand, in European countries, you pay for all the litigation cost to your counterparty if you are losing. So people has more burden, one more chance to think about whether I should go with this legal suit. So then may explain why there are more legal suit in America, much more than in European and British court. Okay, so this kind of legal process is also important. Another is kind of interesting episode. In America, especially the book says in California area, people can rent a judge. I mean, because there are so many legal suits, people have to wait until the judge has time to look at your case. So some people got so tired. It's not just being tired. Like there's a suit on your land. So person A think it's his land, person B think it's her land, and they're suing each other. And because there are so many legal suit going on in the court say, we are so busy right now, your number is number 1005, which means you have to wait 2 years. For that 2 years, the land cannot be used because the land it does not belong to A, doesn't belong to B either. So the land would not be used productively. So it's a big cost. So if you hate to wait, maybe because of being tired or because of monetary loss of waiting, then what you can do in California or some other area in America is you can rent a retired judge. Okay, so he or she was a judge, so he knows everything about what's going on, and you can have a private court. Of course, you sign a document that even though it's not the government court, whatever this judge says, we are going to accept, blah, blah, blah. Then, even though you are number 1005, you can have your own private court tomorrow if you pay for everything. I mean, people may complain, like, only the rich people get the benefit. Like, I'm poor, I cannot pay for the retired judge. It's a huge money, so I'm gonna wait in the line, so it's gonna take me 2 years, while the rich person purchase a judge and they get it immediately. Yeah, but that's right. But if the rich people have their own private court and your number is 1003, but then maybe 100 rich people purchase their own thing, but then you automatically become from 1003 to 903. So even not so rich people who's still in the line of free court would benefit from here. And interestingly, another point that interests me a lot in this episode is this rented judge work very hard. Why? When they were the original judge, who pays them? The government pay them. They work hard or not. They just count it day by day, and you work 365 days, and whether you are a good judge or not, you pay the same money. Government officers. So you don't have to be in a hurry. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to explain things to them like, oh, no, you are guilty. Why? Oh, just you are guilty. Go away, something like that. But then the rented judge is in business. I mean, nobody pay them regularly. They are being paid only when some rich people pay them to have a court. So if they want to make more money, they should be nice and fair and work hard, work quickly, in the previous cases, so when you're a rich person, you want to rent a judge, and there are 10 judges, and the person A and person B, they're against each other. Which judge would they agree? They would agree on a fair judge, working hard, working quickly kind of thing. So the judges want to be a good product, want to be chosen by the legally disputing people, so they perform better than the regular judge. Interesting point for the economist. Okay, final shit. The criminal law. The criminal law, why do we punish the criminal people, the criminals, punish the crime? We want to deter the future crimes, because crimes is bad for the society, bad for the economy. We want to reduce the number of crimes, and if you punish the today's or past crime, that gives a signal to the future criminals, and they would think one more time before they actually do the crime. Second question, we often think about like, oh, punish them hard, capture them and things like that. But when we say, if you punish someone very hard, instead of 1 year in prison, like 5 years in prison, the criminal ratio would decline. That has one assumption, that is the criminals are smart. So when they want to punch someone, kill someone, like they want to steal something, they think, oh, if I steal it, last year I just go to jail 1 year. Now I go to jail 5 years. Should I do that? That criminal, that thief is rational thief. Are they doing that? There is another theory, Saturday night fever theory. Like on Saturday night, you just drunk, you want to enjoy, you don't think about what's dangerous, how much money you should pay, just go out and enjoy. And probably Sunday morning, you regret. Why did I do that? Why I drunk so much? Why did I punch that guy kind of thing? Okay? So Saturday night fever theory is assuming people are not rational. How can we prove by data whether the rational criminal theory is correct or a Saturday night fever theory is correct? So whether the crime happens because the criminals calculate, okay, think about the probability that I would be captured and punishment, but I'm very good, I can avoid the capturing, and if I'm captured, the punishment is small. So like stealing this jewelry today is better than not stealing kind of thing. If I don't steal anything, I'm zero. I steal, I get $10,000. If I cut, the probability is 2% and things like that. So they calculate it, so they think it's paying off and things like that. How can we do that? Some scholars looked at youngsters in the age of 17 and 18. In America, if you are 17 years old, you are regarded as a young person. So even though you did some crime and caught, they say, oh, educationally, we are not going to punish them severely, just we educate them and let go to the society. Okay, maybe. But then if you're over 18, like if you're 18 years old, 19 years old, what will happen is you are already grown up. So you should be punished because you should be responsible for your act. So they put you in jail for a long time. So think about this boy whose name is Jerome. And this Jerome boy, yesterday he was 17 and today he's 18. If he committed a crime yesterday, he go to jail maybe 1 month and get some education and get out. If he committed the same crime today, his 18th birthday, he go to jail for 5 years. Then the same boy Jerome commit a lot of crime, much more crime in the 17 years old, and much less in 18 if he is smart. Okay? Basically, the last day of your 17th birthday and the first day of 18th birthday, it's just 1 day difference. So it's basically same boy, but in front of law, it is like the person young enough, so young that not responsible, and against 18 people old enough to be responsible. So when if the Jerome is a rational smart boy, he would commit every crime in 17 and would not commit any crime in 18. But when the American data show that no difference, people who committed a crime in 17th do it again in 18th, and there are no signal that they would reduce it. Some other scholars in this book introduced that looked at being a criminal page off. So you can work at a construction site or you can be a criminal. In which side you make more money? And it turns out always the construction worker makes more money than the criminals. So it is a little bit absurd to insist that the criminals commit a crime because they are rational, they are calculating everything, they make a judgment that I can make more money by crime than working hard, kind of thing. Of course, there's another story. I mean, these criminals, they already had a bad behavior. They hate working. So they are not normal people. They just do the cocaine, drugs, and drinking. So nobody will employ them. So it's easy to say, why don't they become a construction worker and make more money? Because they cannot. Okay, they simply are not able to work in a normal way. So anyway, so still it's not final whether the criminals are doing the crime because of they are not rational, they are just crazy, or they have this calculation on I'd better do crime to make a living. Okay, but anyway, there has been interesting researches, and especially I think comparing the 17-year-old and 18-year-old boy is very interesting personally. Probably you must have read The Freakonomics, 괴짜 경제학 in Korean, by Stephen Levitt, Harvard PhD. I think I saw him once. He's several years older than me. Anyway, many Americans were puzzled why in 1990s the crime decreased so sharply. I mean, it's like day and night. In 1970s, 80s, there were so many crimes in America, but all of a sudden, 1990s, the crime drops, not without a very good explanation. And then the Levitt insisted that sometime like 1970s, the abortion, get rid of the baby inside your stomach. And the woman does not want the baby, they can get rid of the baby. That's abortion was allowed. So without the abortion law, or before this abortion allowed, the teenage mom, they are in high school or middle school, they got pregnant by mistake and they have a baby. They are baby by themselves, so baby is raising baby. So it's very likely they would become a criminal. But because sometime in 1970s, the abortion is possible, many teenage girls, when they get pregnant, they did the abortion. As a result, the babies were not born compared to the previous period. Babies with this bad environment would not be born. So that is one reason why crime drops. And another thing is, it's more like a Saturday Night Fever theory. Who commit the violent crime? And there are some research, actually several research, which says that who commit the violent crime, punching each other and hit each other, the answer is young male. If you make the female to hit each other, they don't. Somehow, female never punch each other. Male does. If you ask an old man like me, 50-something, 50, I'll be 51, 52 soon, but not 51-year-old Prosahan, please punch the other guy. I said, why? I don't want to punch. I don't want to hurt other people. But if you ask young Tyson, like a 20 years old, why don't you punch him? He said, oh yeah, he punched him, kind of thing. So maybe it's like some hormone thing or the biological thing. The young male, especially between 14 and 24, they have a tendency to fight and punch each other. So the young male are the main character of all the crimes. But because of abortion, the number of young male dropped in 1990s. The number dropped, and especially among the dropping the number, especially the group who has like teenage mom dropped, which is more likely to be criminals. I mean, this is controversial. It's not settled, but at least I'm envious about one thing. That the American scholars deal with all this criminal data, and they analyze what kind of law is and why the crime would be committed and how can we prevent using this data. And hopefully we can, Korean society also make this criminal data available so that the scholars can have some research on them. So who knows, you would be interested in the future and you would learn these things. So as time goes, this is the period of data, like the big data and the AI and everything. Now we have so many data out there. So it's not like the law should change from like you think this is correct, this is not correct, to the using data and what should we do, and then analyze them and how can we decrease the crime based on data and things like that. So that is another new area of law and economics that you can work on in the future. Okay, thank you very much, and I really hope to see your face at some point. Of course, I see your face on the picture, in the picture of the YSEC, but who knows? Anyway, thanks for listening, taking this course, first of all, and be patient and taking this recorded online lecture. The coronavirus situation was I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, still, you get the point of law and economics and hopefully enjoy the course, even though I don't know whether I did the correct job or not, but kind of feel that I was with you all the time and hope the best of you and hope to see you at some point. Maybe in summer, I'll email you so that we can have some party in Sinchon or something like that. Okay, finally, thank you. Thank you for your effort and everything, and good luck for your future. And don't worry too much about the grade. You will be very happy. I would be so surprised when you get the grade of this law and economics course and disappointed. You would be very, very happy. Thank you.